What's up, Voyage Bros, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to take you through how I planned my trip to Egypt. From booking flights, getting visas, deciding which attractions to see, I'll share all the details with you. So if you're thinking of visiting Egypt, you'll have a solid idea on how to plan your adventure. Let's get it started. Back in 2017, when I planned my visit, I was so excited. Egypt has always been on my bucket list for many reasons. I mean, why not? It is the cradle of civilization, boasts the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids, the ancient wonder of the world which lasted for over 4 millennia, has a vast history of culture and arts, and a treasure chest of archaeological discoveries. So I thought I'd share my process of planning that epic journey, along with some tips and tricks I picked up along the way. Let's begin. First, I had to figure out the best time to visit Egypt. I knew that Egypt's summer months can get scorching hot, so I decided to travel in the fall when the weather is much more bearable. I opted for the first week of November as it is less crowded and I wanted to avoid the tourist rush. I stayed in Egypt for 6 days and 5 nights, and I think it's a good balance between exploring major sites like the pyramids and also relaxing and soaking in the local culture. Even before, I had no problem getting Egyptian tourist visa. The process was so easy and the requirements are basic and simple. After submitting my application and supporting documents to the consulate here in Jeddah, I was able to get the visa in just 3 days, which is more than enough time to get ahead with my trip. The good news is, just last year, a new policy states that GCC residents with 6 months valid Iqama on certain occupations are now eligible for visa on arrival to Egypt, and it only costs around $25 on a 30-day period. You just need to verify that your occupation in Iqama is included in the list. Otherwise, it would be safe for you to get the visa from your host country. Next, I had to book my flights. I searched for the best deals on flight comparison websites such as Skyscanner or Google Flights. And I picked a flight from Plinas, which gave me a very great deal for a 2-hour journey coming from Jeddah. For Egypt, the most common international gateway is from Cairo, so that's where I've flown into. A few tips I use: I booked my flight 3 months in advance to get the best price. And I also made sure to check for any layovers or flight connections. Some airlines offer direct flights, while others have stopover just like mine. I flew from Jeddah to Riyadh for a short layover and then to Cairo. Also, always check the baggage policy, especially if you plan to do a lot of shopping. I spent a lot of time deciding where to stay. Since my interests are the pyramids, I booked my stay at a hotel in front of Giza Plateau for easy access of the Sphinx and the pyramids. You could also consider staying in Luxor near the Valley of the Kings if you plan to visit there. Egypt has a wide range of options, from luxury hotels to budget-friendly hostels. I went with Pyramids View Inn, which has a stunning view of pyramids and the Sphinx from sunrise to sunset. I highly recommend reading reviews on TripAdvisor to find something that suits your preferences and budget. Now the fun part, deciding what to do. Egypt has full of ancient wonders, so I had to pick the highlights of my trip. Some of the places I'm most excited to see include the Pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx, and the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. I also went up north to explore the city of Alexandria and had a full day riding a camel and walk on each pyramid on my own. I created a rough itinerary to avoid rushing. For example, one day is dedicated entirely to Cairo, while another will be focused on the Giza Plateau. This way, I won't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I also had to set a budget. Egypt is relatively affordable, but it's easy to get carried away with shopping, excursions, and tipping. I researched the average cost for food, tours, and transportation, so I have a good idea of how much to expect. I carried the mix of local cash and cards. Most places in Cairo accepts card, but I've read that it's always good to have some cash on hand, especially when visiting markets or smaller shops. In total, I had spent roughly 4,500 riyals for a 6 days 5 night trip, which includes everything from visas, plane tickets, accommodation, guided tours, meals, souvenirs, and tipping. As a solo traveler, I opted for guided tours for my own convenience and security. Egypt is full of history, and having a knowledgeable guide can really enhance the experience. I booked my tours through Egypt Tailor-Made Tours, which offers a great range of options. They assigned me the best team for my trip, which will give you a sum up history of Egyptian civilization and at the same time give me security and protection from the people who might take advantage of me as a solo tourist. I also left room for some spontaneous exploration. Not everything needs to be planned. I also left room for some spontaneous exploration. Not everything needs to be planned. Sometimes you find the best places wandering through the streets, trying their delicacies, or chatting with locals. Packing is crucial for a trip to Egypt. I made sure to pack lightweight clothing, a jacket or a sweater, sunscreen, a good pair of walking shoes for exploring, sunglasses, and a hat for protection from the sun. Also, don't forget your power banks. Those long sightseeing days can drain your phone's battery. So that's it. That's how I planned my trip to Egypt. Please don't forget, Voyage Bros, that planning is key. But also don't forget to leave some space for those spontaneous moments. Those are often the best parts of a trip. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if you're planning a trip to Egypt or if you have already been there. I also love to hear your tips and experiences. Thank you very much, Voyage Bros, and see you on the next video.